Enemies of the Secret Hideout, Chapter 6, Capture at the Chicken Coop. The next morning, Beanie and Ted arrived at the oak tree first. Then they saw Sam coming out of the house. "Hey, Sam," said Beanie, "where's Matt?" "Still in the house," said Sam. He lowered his voice. "He's looking for Rusty from an upstairs window." The three boys waited a few minutes. "Here comes Matt now," said Ted. "Don't look," said Matt, "but I just saw them behind the bush at the other end of the fence." "How many are there?" said Ted. "Three, the same as last night. Rusty and Larry and Harry Pelton," said Sam. He grinned. "Let's lead them to the chicken coop." Matt walked away from the boys. Then he said in a loud voice, "Come on, fellas, let's go to the secret hideout." He walked fast toward the woods. Sam, Beanie, and Ted followed him. "Are they following us?" said Beanie. "Don't look now," said Matt. "Wait until we get into the woods." They left the path and walked through tall grasses. "Where are we going?" said Sam. "This isn't the way to the chicken coop. We'll go the long way," said Matt. Beanie sneaked a look over his shoulder. "Hey, I see them," he said. "They're back where the path turns." "Good," said Matt. "This is fun. Come on." They came to the brook. "Wait, Matt," said Sam. "Aren't you going too close to the real secret hideout?" "Yeah," said Matt. "Let's walk right past it. I think it's funny. They'll never see it because it's too well hidden." "You're crazy," said Beanie. They crossed the brook and found the large stone. Then they walked through the swampy place to the small hill. When they came to the grapevine at the entrance to the secret hideout, Matt stopped. "For crying out loud, Matt," whispered Sam. "What are you doing? Don't stop here." Matt reached up and picked some sour grapes. He put one in his mouth. "Phooey!" he spit it out. "Those wild grapes taste sour." Then he walked past the secret hideout and over the hill. They hiked in a half circle for 5 minutes. At last, they were near the chicken coop. "Hey, Beanie," said Matt, "are they still behind us?" Beanie turned quickly and looked back down the trail. "Yes," he said, "I can see Rusty's checkered shirt through the trees." "Okay, fellas," said Matt, "let's crawl the rest of the way. We have to make it look like a real secret." "Oh, golly," said Beanie, "I hate this part." The 4 boys fell flat on the ground. They crawled through the woods, through the weeds and grasses to reach the chicken coop. "Is everybody in?" said Matt. "Close the door." "Wait for Beanie," said Ted. "He's not such a good crawler." At last, Beanie crawled through the doorway. He started laughing as soon as he was inside. "Shh, Beanie," said Matt. "You'll give us away." "I can't help it," said Beanie. He laughed louder. "Stop it, Beanie," said Sam, "or I'll sit on you." "Quiet, fellas," said Matt. "Rusty's hollering something." "Hey, Vikings!" they heard Rusty yell. "Hey, Vikings! We know where your hideout is." Then he laughed. Beanie laughed too. "Oh, boy," he said, "this is funny." He couldn't stop laughing. Sam finally sat on him. He held his hand over Beanie's mouth. "What should we do now?" said Ted. "Let's make believe we're mad at them," said Matt. "Let's chase them away." "We have them outnumbered," said Beanie. "Okay," said Sam, "let's go." The 4 members of the Viking Club ran through the doorway of the chicken coop. "Hey, Rusty!" yelled Sam. "You followed us, you louse!" "We'll teach you a lesson," yelled Ted. He shook his fists as he ran. "Rusty is a sissy," Beanie shouted. "Rusty is a cheater." Rusty and his 2 friends stood still for a moment. They saw Matt, Sam, Beanie, and Ted running toward them. "Let's get out of here," said Rusty. He ran for the woods. The Pelton twins turned to run after him. Just then Larry Pelton caught his shoe in a tree root. I'm stuck, he yelled. "Help me, get me out of here." His brother stopped and began tugging at the shoe. "Hey, Rusty," he shouted. "We have to help Larry." Rusty stopped running. He looked at his friends. Then he looked at the oncoming Vikings. He turned and ran away as fast as he could. In a few moments, the Vikings surrounded Larry and Harry Pelton. "You're captured," said Matt. "Yeah, we know. We give up," said Harry. "What's the big idea trailing us?" said Matt. "Aw, Larry and I aren't mad at you guys," said Harry. "It was Rusty's idea," said Larry. "And then we get in trouble. He runs away," said Harry. "Did you hear that? Or did you see that? We had enough time to pull Larry free. But Rusty ran away. He shook his head. You two are in the wrong club, said Matt. How would you like to join the Vikings? We always help each other. How about it, said Sam. How about joining our club? Gee, said Larry Pelton, do you really mean it? Sam laughed. Sure we mean it, he said. We never make jokes. Well, hardly ever, said Matt. That's right, said Ted. Beanie was laughing so hard he couldn't say anything.